What is up, you guys? This is Dr. D, your college doc, coming to you with another video on coffee. We're going to give you 10 tips on how to be successful with the inclusion of coffee in our life. So, tip number 1. Coffee is made from a plant, and it has seeds, and we use it for drinking by soaking in water. So therefore, it's not surprising that we have so many health benefits from it. We're going to talk about all the health benefits and all the health detriments that could possibly happen when having coffee. So, number 2, coffee has been used for thousands of years across the globe, mainly in the tropics. However, it's been used outside for thousands of years. Specifically in Ethiopia, it's been used by the Oromo people, and it's ancient culture that uses coffee as a medicine to eliminate all disease. It's been used by their warriors as well, and it's been used as an energy source and as a way of elevating the spirit. And next, coffee prevents disease. Oh yes, it does. All of those misconceptions that we've heard about how it causes diseases, it's only past a certain point. So, up to that point, which we'll discuss, we have many health benefits. For example, it's decreased a variety of cancers, liver diseases, including non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and metabolic syndromes and diabetes. So by having a little bit of coffee, we're good. In fact, we're thriving. Now time for the next benefit, or the next tip. So the 4th tip is to have coffee at the optimal time of day. So let's say we're waking up on a given day, it's 7 o'clock, or if you're just starting out, maybe it's 8:30, maybe it's 8, something like that. Wait a good hour, hour and a half, and you'll be fully awake. However, it seems that the issue in our population across the globe, in our global population, that coffee has been used as a way to wake us up, and that is a huge misconception. So, we need to have coffee between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. This is my proposal. Why do I say this? Because, 1, if we wake up and we have coffee right away, we are tuning our body, we're tuning our minds to be accustomed to having coffee as a form of waking us up, when really it's supposed to stop us from slowing down and to increase our cognitive and physical performance. Talk about. So, having coffee in the morning is a no-no. Do not have coffee before 10 a.m., before 11 a.m. You want to have it around midday. Why do I say this? Because we'll have the optimal performance around 11, or about an hour after we have it, we'll have the most optimal performance we'll talk about. And also, to not have it after 2 p.m. Why do I say this? Because coffee has a half-life between 4 and 7 hours. And it's been shown to decrease our sleep duration if we have it past 2 p.m. in the evening. It'll decrease the amount of sleep we get, it'll decrease the quality of our sleep, it will decrease the efficiency of our sleep. So if we lay down and it takes us a long time to fall asleep, probably because you had coffee. Next, it'll decrease our time spent in stage 2 sleep, and in many other stages as well. So by having coffee, we'll be decreasing our sleep duration by a total of 30 minutes to an hour. So don't have coffee past 2. Alright. Next, the frequency to have it. Alright. This is tip number 5. Now, no more than 2 cups a day. We're going to talk about other guidelines as well, but 2 cups max if you're part of the multitude, the majority of the population. Now, we're going to discuss tolerance, but for now, frequency No more than 3 days in a row. Max 2 cups per day. So this means that in a given 4-day sequence, we'll have it 3 days. But we don't even need to have it this much because coffee will enhance us to a super duper optimal level of performance more than usual. So now we can perform plenty of activities without coffee, but with coffee, we'll do even better. Tip number 6, it enhances our cognitive performance. Who knew? We all know that keeps us awake and stuff like that, but did you know that it'll increase your memory? Did you know that it increases your ability to recall things quickly and to be more imaginative and have more mental vigor? Study shows an elderly person, or mouse in this case, who had coffee had the same mental abilities as a young adult, as an adult. Now this is a huge breakthrough for the elderly population. So not only will they have all the health benefits, but they'll be able to think at the same cognitive abilities as when they were younger. Also, preventing the degradation of their neurons and of their brain structures. Coffee has a neuroprotective effect. In terms of physical performance, we're talking about tip number 7. So if you're an athlete, if you're a moderate athlete, if you're an engineer who wants to work out a bit more, have some coffee between 10 and 2 p.m. Why? Because you'll have more vigilance, you'll be able to produce more energy. I'm talking about kilojoules produced in terms of rate. You'll have a faster reaction rate. So if you're playing football, if you're doing soccer, any of that stuff, any of those sports, you'll be able to react faster, stronger, and better overall. So if you want to have those superhuman capabilities, walk on your hands and jump up and down and swing across ropes, whatever you're doing, you'll be able to do so much better with coffee. And it increases our DNA synthesis, so it literally goes in and it will increase our translation of the mRNA. And how does it do this? We're not too sure yet, but it does. And it'll also increase our total ATP production by our mitochondria. So total ATP production will be increased by phosphorylation of ADP and AMP, adenosine monophosphate and diphosphate, 2-triphosphate, which is our energy currency in our body. Now, in terms of having too much coffee, so this is tip number 8. Can you have too much? Yes, you can. Having more than 2 cups, more than 3 cups, is associated with more disease in general. Now, I've looked at many studies, and a lot of them say like, oh, if you have more than 5, you start having issues, more than 2, you start having issues. But if you possibly have issues of urinary incontinence, or if you have anxiety, or if you have GERD, if you have any of those, you may start having issues past 2 or 3 cups. So, I'm keeping it at 2. So in terms of tremors, if you are part of the population that gets tremors, so it's like shaky hands, then you may not want to have coffee at all, or switch to decaf. And gauge the amount of coffee you have depending on your symptoms. Continuing on with tip number 8 actually. If you do have anxiety and you do take coffee, try some relaxation techniques, meditation, aromatherapy, all that. Try it out, see if it works. In terms of addiction, number 9. So when we think of the average Joe, they would go and have coffee in the morning to feel more hyped in the morning, right? To wake them up. So when we talk about having coffee in the morning, we need to make sure that we're fully awake, and to make sure that we're not taking coffee because we want to wake up. We want to have it because we want to increase our performance, but not be dependent on it. So, past 10, past 11 a.m., we're good. Furthermore, when we think of caffeine as a drug, there is a misconception that it's in the same ballpark as other drugs like amphetamines. Now those drugs, and we also talked about in earlier videos with addictions to other things, sexual things. So that dopamine system, in terms of the most addictive drugs like amphetamines, this dopamine, so there are 5 types of dopamine. This type, not in coffee, is a type that is produced, it's a neurotransmitter that fires in the nucleus accumbens, which is our reward system. Now with coffee, it produces a different type of dopamine, or L-DOPA, a form that is in our basal ganglia. So when we think of Parkinson's disease, they have an issue with the basal ganglia, so they'll have like memory issues and ability to move issues. So coffee actually enhances our ability to produce dopamine in the basal ganglia, which will prevent Parkinson's disease. A different type of dopamine, remember. Tip number 10. For adults, no more than 2 cups a day. For men, it says 2 or 3 cups over a variety of studies, but stick to 2 cups just to be safe for overall increased longevity and superhuman abilities. Now for adolescents, okay, we're talking between 12 and 18 years old. This population doesn't need to have coffee, first of all. But if you are like an athlete, or if you want to have the most optimal performance, 1 cup max a day. Same sequence, same time period, all that good stuff. Now, if you're pregnant, I propose you to have no coffee